Hey folks, my name is Brian and you're watching Survival on Purpose. Today's video we're going to go over some modifications I made to my Ontario Old Hickory Butcher Knife after using it for a little while, so stick with me. Okay, so if you've seen my first video, the Old Hickory Butcher Knife by Ontario is around $10 to $15, and it's a carbon steel full tang knife made in the USA. It's 1075 carbon steel, I believe, so it's a pretty good knife, and a lot of people are using these for a very low budget bushcraft type knife, but there are some drawbacks to it, and so I want to go over what I did to mine and to kind of hopefully to improve it. First of all, when you first get this knife, it's going to be really shiny. It is carbon steel and it's prone to rust. So what I did, I forced a patina on it, and I tried several different ones. I actually wrote Survival on Purpose on it with mustard and let it sit over, for a few hours. It looked okay, but I didn't really like the way it looked. So then I just put the whole thing in vinegar and let it soak, and it turned really black, really nice. And what a patina does, when you force a patina, it's kind of like artificially rusting it to prevent it. It's good rust is to prevent it from getting bad rust, if that makes sense. I'm not a scientist, but that's kind of the way I understand it. And since then, I have it's gotten really wet when I was wet molding a sheath, and you can see some of the edges here, it got a lot of surface rust, so I used some steel wool and cleaned it off, so it really looks different than it did before, but it looks okay, and this really seems to be holding up pretty well. So that's the first thing I did, was I forced a patina on it. Second thing I did was I sharpened the edge a lot better. Maybe you can see the edges. Looks like it's a lot sharper than it was. Now it had a pretty decent edge on it, but it's got a much better edge now. Third thing I did, even though it probably didn't need it, the spine was really at a hard 90 degrees, so it threw sparks off a ferro rod really good. But I went ahead and took a file and just cleaned it up, made it really a very sharp 90-degree angle on there, so it would throw ferro rods really good. And then I got a wild hair and thought, I've seen these fire steel notches, so I decided to put one in. I'll show you how that works. I had some concerns and some comments about this when I had this on a different video, if that weakens the knife, and it's possible. We're going to find out if it'll stand up to a beating. The biggest problem with these knives is they don't come with a sheath, and a good sheath is probably 30 more than the knife. So I made one for it. This is my first attempt at making a leather sheath. It looks like a guy I used to work with say a calf's butt sewed up with a grapevine. Not very pretty, but it protects the blade. It turned out a little big, but I tried to wet form it and it did a little better, but still, it's not perfect. At least I can wear it, and it keeps the blade from falling around too much. So it does have a sheath. Here's what it won't do. It won't shave hair. It's not that sharp, but it is pretty sharp. It's pretty good. So what we're gonna do now is go ahead and I'm gonna readjust the camera, and we'll do some quick demos and show you how this thing actually performs. And we're gonna beat the heck out of it and see if it'll break. Stick with me. Okay, I just got a dry stick I picked up off the ground. Just gonna show you how well this thing, it cuts really good. I wish you could feel that, because it's like butter right now. It really does shave really well. It's not the best wood in the world to make a feather stick out of. It's really dry and really hard, but some wood's better than others. But you can see that it is actually, if I use my thumb, I can really get a better curl on it. But it's pretty sharp. It's curling up pretty good there, if you can see. So and it also will make pretty good sized deep cuts in there. So it's pretty sharp for that. Okay, so this knife is not really designed to be a chopper. You can see the handle's straight, so there's nothing, it just wants to slide right out of your hand when you're putting pressure on it. It will do a little chopping, as you can see, but it's probably not going to be your best use of this knife. It just doesn't have a lot of mass. The blade's not that thick, and it's not really designed to be a chopper. So, you can do some minor chopping with it, but that's not the recommended use. But if you do need to cut something big, you should be able to baton it. So that's what we're going to try now. I'm going to see if this notch right here, if it causes a problem. Let's see. Let's beat the tar out of this thing. All right, let's see if we can do a little chopping here. fat wood. Okay, well, it as you can see, doesn't look like there's any stress cracks. Doesn't seem to be broken anywhere in there. Did a pretty good job batoning. That's a pretty good sized log, and it's you know, I will say that if you try to get too rough with it, this handle does not absorb vibration very well. So there's obviously compromises, but it's a $10 or $15 knife, so you know you gotta take that into account. But it is a $10 or $15 knife that could literally last you all your life. So that's batoning. Let's check out how well this thing strikes sparks from a ferro rod. Okay, so got my ferro rod here. Got my knife tied with this straight back first. Does really well. I don't want to catch the woods on fire here. Now with my little notch, I think the little notch seems to really throw a lot more magnesium. So the ferro part of it, striking the fire steel, works like a champ. Okay, so that's my Old Hickory modifications after I've had the knife several months now. I've been using it on a pretty regular basis. I'm actually really happy with it. My sheath turned out kind of lumpy, but it works. I may improve that. I actually made a video of it. I don't know if I'm going to put that up or not because it turned out, you know, the sheath didn't turn out so good. But all in all, you know, it definitely has some negatives. It's not perfect, but if there is such a thing. But for the money, I think it's a great deal. I think the few modifications you can make to it would make it better. And I also saw another video. I'll try to find a link, put it down. There's a guy that's taking these knives and he's reshaping the blade and making shorter, more bushcraft style knives in the style of Morse Kaczynski might recommend. So anyway, once again, I hope this has been helpful. As always, I appreciate you watching my videos, watching my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It really helps. Thanks for your comments. Usually what happens is the comments below will teach me something and teach everybody else something, so that's always a good thing. So thanks again for subscribing. If you like it, click the thumbs up, share it with your friends, tell your friends about it, all that good stuff. Once again, you're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident. So be prepared. See you next time.